Hello, this is Chris Davis with the New Miracles Training Center. And this session is to me one of the most exciting training sessions you'll ever have with the 3CX phone system, primarily because of the 3CX MyPhone. I believe it is the best app ever developed for a voice over IP phone system, primarily because it allows your telephone and your computer to integrate and work together as one unit. All right, I'm going to start the training with the basic MyPhone. This is what comes up once the app is loaded. And here's the layout of the MyPhone. Here's the extensions, and this is what's called an extension group, and for members who are not in a group. So let's say in your company you have the marketing department, the sales department, the technical department. You put all those people in different groups, and whenever you want to reach someone from that group, you just open that group up, right click on the person's name, and voila, it gives you a menu of different things that you can do. You can call them. If they have the MyPhone, you can chat with them. You can call their mobile phone. You can leave a voicemail. You can intercom the person. You can create a conference, all from the MyPhone. And if you're in a call center, you can log in or out of the queue just by using the MyPhone. Now that's the basic, but still a very powerful feature of it, is to be able to handle calls from this app on the desktop. Now, let me give you a quick example. What I'm going to do is I am going to dial into my office from the cell phone. And when I do that, once I transfer to my extension, you'll notice something. You begin to see that the phone's ringing. You see who's on the call because it identifies it. Once I hit to accept the call, you can hear my voice in the background. That's me talking. If you notice, because I was in Outlook, I'm going to hang this thing up now. Because I was in Outlook, all of my contact information came in. Now this is a very, very important yet a wonderful feature for those receptionists trying to collect data on who's calling the company, because if there's not a contact, it will allow you to collect data just by the person calling. Once they call in, hello, just ask them for their name, and now you're starting to create a contact database for your business just off of a simple phone call, because they called into the 3CX phone system installed by New Miracles, and it was set up with the 3CX MyPhone. So that's what happens when a call comes in. I could also, if I'm on a call, I'm going to demonstrate this, I could transfer the call. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call from the office manager's phone. And I answer the phone by using the 3CX phone. And if you look on the MyPhone, it tells you who's calling. This is the extension number and who they're on the call with. Now anyone can see this in the company, which is really helpful because this allows someone to know that you're on the phone when they go to transfer the call to you, so they can just transfer it directly to your voicemail. Now, if I want to, because I'm in the management group, I can actually hang up calls. But let's say I need to transfer this call to the video department. I click transfer, and as I start typing the number, I see the video department. I also see the options for transferring directly to people's voicemail. So for this one, I'm going to transfer to the video department or video editor and click OK. Now that call is now being transferred. However, due to the time of the training, he's not in. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this call by just hitting reject. And now, back on the phone with the office manager. So I want to hang it up, and I'll just hit reject again. And as you notice, the call was just hung up. Very, very powerful feature. So if you want to intercom someone, just right click on the name, click intercom, and you'll hear that phone because it's right next to me in the recording. Amazing that I just intercommed them from my computer. Another feature of my phone. Now I've hung up the call, but it's just that easy. So if you need to intercom anybody, now I'm not going to intercom myself, but you can just intercom them right here using the MyPhone. Very powerful feature. Another thing is that you can call the mobile. So if the person has a mobile phone in here, you can call them directly just by right clicking and hitting call mobile. Alright, so you find the person who you want to reach, and you can leave a voicemail, use an intercom, chat, call, or call their mobile, or create a conference bridge, all from the 3CX MyPhone. Now wait, this is only the first phase. If you're in a call center or have call center edition, you have different queues that you can see. However, since we don't have any queues set up, you don't see anything here. The next powerful feature is the missed calls. So you can log in and see how many missed calls you've had. As you can see, I had it set up to not answer restricted calls, and so therefore it pretty much cancels those calls. So I can see any of my missed calls. I can see all the calls that I've had, which would be missed calls, answered calls, calls that I've placed. So it's a very good way of tracking. So if your manager says, well, did you call such and such, John Smith on this day? You say, yeah. You pull up your call log and you can show where you called him. You can show how long you were on the phone. Now, the thing I must warn you is tell the truth, because this will show up in a call log. You can see your outbound calls. You can see your abandoned calls. You can see the calls you've received, all in the MyPhone. And the calls will remain there until you clear them. So let's say you've gone through and now you've been out for a few days. You don't need any of this data. You just hit clear all, and I click OK. Now I've cleared all of those calls. Next thing is to be able to check voicemail. As you can see here, here's a voicemail that was left for me on 11/20/2012. Now I've already listened to this voicemail. Here's the number of the person who called, the duration of the voicemail. I can simply push play to listen to the voicemail, or play on the phone. So if I played it on the phone, it would play here in my soft phone. If I had a desk phone in my office, I could play and then play it to my desk phone. I could mark this as new, or I could call the person back. So I'm going to demonstrate what happens if you call the person back. You click on it, it immediately starts dialing the number. Now mine is programmed to dial from my soft phone primarily because I'm on the road a lot. However, if you are in the office, you can just have it dial from your desk phone. One other thing that I forgot to add, if you notice down at the bottom of the screen, it gives you an option right now. It says launch 3CX phone. If I was using my desk phone, which I don't use a desk phone primarily because a soft phone and a headset works very well for me, I would just click call desk phone or call desk using intercom. These are just a few of the options that you can do. If you're in a different language, pick your language. And call chat disabled. Right now I disabled it and I just re-enabled it. So this way someone can send me a chat message or like an instant message within the company. Now the features at the bottom are available in all of your screens, so I just kind of want to demonstrate that to you. It gives you like the different options. Alright, but let's go back to the voicemail, and we're going to now move forward to the address book. This is a company address book which is defined by the administrator. It picks up all the extensions, and this also allows you to create extensions that you can add to the company's address book or to your personal address book. So let's say you have a client that you call on a regular basis. If you're using Microsoft Outlook, I recommend doing it in Outlook. However, if you're not using Microsoft Outlook, this is a great way to store numbers that you call on a regular basis. You put in the first name, last name, and the phone number. If you want it added to the public company address book, put add to company address book. If company phone book, I'm sorry. But if you just want it for your personal, just add it without checking this box, and that'll add the person. So I'm going to add John Doe. And his number is 800-555-3965. Okay. And of course you see that error because the phone number is not going to show valid. So once you take out these little dashes that I'm so used to typing, John Doe's number is now added. Whenever I want to call John Doe, I just right click on his name and click call number. Now, because I really don't want John Doe to be in my phone book, let me go ahead and delete him. So now John Doe's gone. All right, next we're going to move to the most difficult yet the most exciting piece of the MyPhone, where you can actually control what happens to calls from you without having to call the phone system administrator. There's a section in here where you'll see your first name, your last name, your email address. Now, if you did not provide this information at the time of setup, you can go back in and add your own email address, your SIP ID, and that's if you're taking direct SIP calls. Most people really don't use that function unless they're using Skype. Your outbound caller ID. This is what's known as a DID. So let's say your extension 107. However, when people call, they dial area code phone number 9107. This is what you would put in here. So for me, my number is 803-350-0501. And so now whenever I dial out, this number is going to show up to whoever I'm dialing. And the reason for that is this way, when you call out, the person doesn't have to call the switchboard to get you. They'll get your direct inward dial line. Now, if you do not have a DID or direct inward dial line, then don't put any information here. In my case, I like to dial out as the company, so that's why I don't use a DID. Now, let's move to the forwarding rules. This is probably the most critical piece because you can control what happens when someone calls your line. I'm kind of going to expand this to let you see it a little bit clearer. Available. This means that your phone is in the available status. So for me, if a call is not answered within 24 seconds, and each ring is about 6 seconds, so 24 seconds is about 4 rings, it will send the call to my voicemail. Now let's say you're at a high volume area and these calls are very important. What would happen is you could say send it to the receptionist or send it to anybody else in the company. So on that day that you're off or you're on vacation and you don't want your customer to miss you, all you do is set it to go to whomever you want it to go to, and that call will automatically be routed if you don't answer it within the 24 seconds or whatever time you specify. Second is phone is busy. Now this means I'm physically on a phone call. So what I'd like to do if I'm physically on a phone call on my desk phone is to have it forwarded to my mobile phone. Now I don't always have to do that. I can tell it just send it to my voicemail. Or here's a really nice feature, send it to the receptionist if I'm on the phone. Another great option is send it to another external number. So let's say you're off today and you want to send the call to your home phone or any other phone. What you do is you put in that number, and what would happen is once it sees that your phone is busy, it'll send it to whatever number. Now I don't recommend this if you're at work to send it to your home phone. That would more so be if you are not answering or not available, just to send it to another phone. Your mobile phone is already in the system, so you can just check send it to mobile. This means that it's a phone number that is not published when you put in a number here.